let's bring on one of the newer shows to the network. I believe last year was right as they joined our network. So let's bring on Don and Lee of the Saturday Morning Showdown. Boom. There they are.
What's going on, guys?
Hey.
And let's bring...
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Good, good.
We've exchanged emails. How are you? Nice to meet you. How
are
you? Vibes. Don, I made the video that you were commenting about. It's footage of a Philadelphia marionette Christmas called "The Spirit of Christmas" with the song "Santa Claus" by Gatsby's American Dream was playing.
Oh my God, I remember that band. I love that band. Yes.
I'm doing I post a punk rock Christmas song every day, and I'm gonna have to post that one. That song was awesome.
I may have seen that band at the 22nd Unitarian Church in Philadelphia.
Oh, that is like one of my favorite venues. Yes.
If we're talking Philly, the bands that I've seen at that venue are like at the drive-in and the Get Up Kids back in the day. Like,
oh my God, good stuff. Yeah, I saw Gatsby's American Dream actually open up for the starting line when I was at Westchester University.
The starting line at the Pontiac Grill. I remember that show too.
Yes.
Is the Pontiac Grill still there on South Street?
No, it's not there. No, South Street, a lot of stuff's closed now, but definitely check out the South Street Art Mart. That our art's in there, and it's a really cool store. But other than that, South Street, like all the stuff that used to be there, is like not there anymore.
Looks like we're gonna have to do the Geekscape live show from Philadelphia next year, just to make it like a hometown thing for y'all.
Yeah, let's bring in another that Geekscape forums, but I met her when she briefly lived in the Philadelphia area as well. Jenny Maso.
Hi, Jenny.
Hi. Jenny. Happy holidays. I'm all festive.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What is this Saturday Morning Showdown thing, Matthew? Because you don't even run these past my desk anymore. What is this? What is this?
Don, would you like to explain it?
Yeah, I'll take it. So me and Lee are both like in our early mid-30s. Actually, Lee's in her late 30s. So
I just had a birthday.
Up in the golden age of the Saturday morning cartoon. So we're going back and rewatching some of our favorite 80s and 90s shows and just talking about the nostalgia and like how they hold up and watching them again like with adult eyes. And it's been fun. I like it.
It's been fun. Yeah, we've had 40 almost like 40 episodes so far. So it's been great.
It gets the stamp of approval.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right. Well, we will let you two and Jenny dive into your topic of some of the best Christmas specials. But I just wanted to real quickly remind everyone to still use that link in the comments. Donate. We are just $5 shy of $200 already, which puts us at almost 10% of our goal. Let's try to get to that 2,000 for Liam.
Woo!
Yeah.
All right, John. I'm sure they'll see you and I plenty more throughout the stream. It is all yours, everybody.
All right. So yeah, like Matt said, we're Saturday Morning Showdown. Since we specialize in Saturday morning cartoons and kids shows, we're gonna do our top 3 kids show specials. I guess is the best way to put it. We're gonna do 3-2 honorable mentions and then our number ones. I'll kick it off. I'm gonna start with a simple one. I always forget this is the first episode, but The Simpsons first episode was a Christmas special.
Oh my God, yes. I totally forgot about that.
The very first episode was where they introduced...
we did that.
We did. And it's where they introduce, I think, Frank Welker's most iconic role of Santa's Little Helper. But it's a classic episode. I watched it this morning, actually, and it has a weird heart to it that I wasn't expecting from The Simpsons, but it's very early. Like, you know, when they find Santa's Little Helper, if that dog's face doesn't pull at your heartstrings, you are not a human.
Very true. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Very, very true.
Yeah. But the episode actually touches on a lot of, like, working class family struggles. Like, it was 89 and Homer's work pulled his Christmas bonus, which is such like a early 2000s thing. Like I'm used to that still. So I don't know, it hit on a lot of like things I wasn't expecting from a kids show, but it was really awesome. And I highly recommend you watch it. It's on Disney Plus, so it's easy to access and it is great.
Awesome. Yeah. We'll definitely have to check that out. I mean, we did it on our thing, but yes.
Yeah, I've
I'll have to
never
watch it.
seen it, so I will
Oh,
have
it's
to check it out.
totally worth watching. And it's cool to see the roots of The Simpsons, like the first season compared to like where they evolved to. But yeah, it's neat. I highly recommend it.
That's
All right,
so
Jenny, do you want to
ballsy
take the
of
next
you
one?
too. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I know we were supposed to basically do episodes. I could only think of specials,
I was
but
having
I
a hard time with
did.
that too. Yes.
It's amazing. Like specials were the only thing that came to mind, but I did think
Mhm.
of one, and it's going to be my number 3, and it's a current show on Disney Plus as well, and it's called
Nice.
Bluey. Bluey is a show that my kids love. They're 2 and 3, and it's an Australian, like government sanctioned cartoon just about this family of dogs. But what I really, really, really love about Bluey that makes it worth watching, doesn't matter what age you are, really, is I know this is very strange to say about a kid's cartoon. It trusts its audience.
Mhm.
I know it's hard to understand, but this feels like a real family. There's details about the children's behavior that makes them feel like real kids. And what I think it sets out to do is kind of demonstrate to parents how they can play with their kids and connect with their kids, because sometimes as adults we forget to not worry about our own problems and spend some time with our children. And they only have 2 series. So they have one Christmas episode. It's called Veranda Santa, where they have a game where they each play. Thank you. Big Yanks is supporting me. Bluey is amazing. Like seriously, check it out. And Veranda Santa is where each person pretends to be Santa, hands out gifts, and then one kid gets resentful and refuses to give gifts. And it just demonstrates how Christmas is really about understanding and forgiveness and accepting your family. And I just definitely highly recommend it. It's genuinely funny. There's details of kids' behavior in there you're just not going to see on any other show. And of course, Australian accents are so charming.
Mhm. That sounds incredible, and that's not a show I have heard of at all.
Yeah. Same here.
We do not have children, so we are not up to keep with the current stuff, but that sounds awesome. We should watch that for the show and talk
No,
about it.
no, definitely.
Absolutely. I can
definitely
give
wanna
you
watch that.
specific episodes to check out for the show if you need help, because they're really good.
Right
Good.
on. Yeah,
Great.
we will definitely check that out.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, that I guess it leaves me to my number 3. So my number 3, it's since the assignment was holiday episode, I'm actually gonna go with the Rugrats Hanukkah episode. So in the 90s, at the time that came out, I was actually in Catholic school and in religion class, and we were learning about a lot of different religions and cultures. So this actually really, at the time, really helped me learn about Hanukkah, because again, my family celebrates Christmas. I'm not Jewish at all. I do have a couple Jewish family members from friends but at that time I really didn't know much about Hanukkah, and that really, really helps break it down what the holiday is really about. And they do it in such a fun way. There's just so many like fun puns. Like Angelica is running around saying it's ha. You have to say ha when you say Hanukkah, and then like when they're talking about the potato pancakes, the lattes, like they call them torpedoes. Like the whole thing, like the grandpa and the grandmom, like they're having like the Rugrats family cook a whole dinner and then go see a play, and then the whole time like they're like flipping back and forth about the story of Hanukkah. The one famous line from that is a Maccabee's got to do what Maccabees got to do, which is the Maccabees. The menorah, they think the menorah is like is for Tommy's birthday. And it's just like so many funs. It's the Miracle of Hanukkah. They call it the Miracle. So it's just like that whole thing. It's just such a cute little story. Just like, and like, I think it definitely geared towards kids, because like they can learn the story of Hanukkah broken down rather than like the boring like thing that you learn in school and the textbooks. And at the time, like it was just really, really sweet for me. And I just like Nickelodeon as a whole, like since we've been on our podcast like is about cartoons, but we really have broken into those really diverse topics. And I don't know who at Nickelodeon has made such great episodes like the Hanukkah. There's even a Passover episode. I'm just like so happy that exists, because my first experience like with Hanukkah actually was Christmas Eve on Sesame Street. Mr. Hooper is Jewish, and they just mentioned he was Jewish. They didn't really go into like what is Hanukkah. Like Sesame Street didn't really cover like what is Hanukkah. So this was like the really first time like I actually got to learn about it. So this is great for my number 3, and I would love to do this on our podcast, but I highly recommend for anyone who hasn't seen it.
What
Yeah,
I
Rugrats.
remember about it was, sorry to interrupt.
No,
What
go
I
for it.
remember
it.
about it that was so significant was the heavy marketing behind it. If you think about it, this is the Christmas season. So to get such heavy marketing. I remember commercial after commercial after
Yes.
commercial about a Jewish holiday. I think in the 90s, it was important. And I believe, wasn't it around the time Prince of Egypt came out too?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it just was a great, just this little pocket of Jewish culture. And I think it was really important that the Rugrats did that. And I totally agree. It was very special.
Mhm.
Yes.
I feel like that was like Nickelodeon's mantra too. As we've been watching a lot of these shows, Nickelodeon, more than a lot of the 80s shows, made it a point to bring in diverse voices and bring up, like, they did a Kwanzaa episode of Rugrats as well.
Mm.
And it just seemed like that was something that Nickelodeon was doing more than anybody else. I think that's super cool.
Yeah,
Like,
you actually,
you know,
the Kwanzaa episode was going to be mentioned from our honorable mention. So thanks, Don.
well, you know.
A documentary about Nickelodeon in the 90s
Yeah.
just recently came out, isn't it? I think it's on Amazon Prime.
The Orange Years, yeah,
yeah.
we watched
The
it.
Orange. I mean, understanding the philosophy of how they made this work is
Yeah.
lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
It's really incredible what they did. Definitely recommend that documentary.
No,
Yeah,
it
there's
was
a
great.
particular scene in that documentary. They had Magic Johnson come on, talking about AIDS, and they had like a bunch of kids come on who
Nick
had,
News, right?
God, I could not believe how much I was crying when I was watching that. Like, I just wasn't
I
prepared
definitely
for
cried.
that.
Yeah.
But it's an incredible documentary. It really is.
Yeah.
So I'll pick back up on the holiday specials, and my number 2 is Pinky and the Brain's A Pinky and the Brain Christmas. Does anyone remember this episode?
I don't.
It's really good. I think it's the only episode where Brain's scheme actually works, but he develops a hypnotizing doll that will warp your brain and do whatever he wants. And then he goes to Santa's workshop and convinces the elves to make 1 billion of them and distribute them all around the world. And then all the while he's ignoring Pinky, who wants to give a letter to Santa. At the very end, when he finally gets his system online and can control the entire world, he reads Pinky's letter to Santa, and all Pinky wanted for Christmas was for Brain to have a happy Christmas and possibly the world. And he starts crying and just says, spread joy. So Brain does succeed in taking over the world, but uses it to spread joy. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I've never seen that one, so yeah, I would be super excited to watch that one too.
Yeah, and all of the old Warner Brothers stuff is on Hulu Plus, so again, easy to access. I watched it yesterday. It's
Nice.
holds up, it's awesome, and it's great. I highly
Yeah.
recommend it. All right, Jenny, you want to take number 2?
All right, yeah, number 2. So this is a special. The other 2s I have are specials,
That's
and I have strange tastes in. I prefer the campy, the quirky when it comes to my entertainment, and that must have started with Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. That was a good one.
Pee-wee's Playhouse Christmas special is a giant fever dream. I can't begin to get into it, so I'm just going to isolate one moment, because it's a variety show, just like you would see in like the 60s and 70s, but with Pee-wee. And my favorite part, because it just is not appropriate, makes no sense, should not be in a children's thing, but is wonderful. And that's when Grace Jones shows up. Grace Jones, if you don't know, is this, iconic, androgynous, gender fluid, dated David Bowie, like sexy performer, supermodel, singer, and she's an alien from another world, and we are not worthy of her. So she shows up in a giant box that's supposed to be sent to the White House. She's supposed to be singing for the president, but it's actually sent to the Playhouse. And so she opens, and she's wearing, you should Google it, it's like a pharaoh hat that's like molded to her head, and then like an entire breastplate that's perfectly molded to her body, and then just like sings the little drummer boy in this weird like alien movement, and it makes no sense, and I love it. And it had a profound influence on me as a child, as a bisexual woman.
Nice.
It's just, I mean, overall, it's just going to be a wild ride. But like, if you have to isolate a moment from Pee-wee's Playhouse, I just think its peak is when Grace Jones shows up.
Yeah, Pee-wee's Playhouse in general, Fever Dream really is the best description for it. That show is complete madness. I do not know how it happened, but I'm so glad it did.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I can't get over how Miss Yvonne, you know, the super sexy neighbor, is now Charlie's mom on Sunny in Philadelphia. Like,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Cannot get past that. It's wild. But and you know, Lawrence Fishburne, it was his big breakout, and Cyndi Lauper did the theme. Like, it just has so many cool people involved. So check it out.
I can't call him anything but Larry Fishburne because of Pee-wee's Playhouse. So like now that he's like a serious actor and I'm like Larry Fishburne, it's very strange. But yeah, it's so weird, the people that came from that show.
Yeah.
That would be amazing, J-Lo, if you could do Geekscape like Pee-wee's Playhouse. That would be incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta make that happen. Yeah. But yeah, I grew up on Pee-wee, so yeah, I support. I definitely gotta go over. It's been like probably over a decade since I've seen that, so I definitely need to watch that again.
Back when Freeform was Fox Family, they showed Pee-wee's Playhouse at 7 a.m. every morning, so I'd watch it before school. So it put me in the perfect mindset to learn.
Nice. Nice. All right. Well, I think it's up to me now. So my number 2 is actually Arnold's Christmas from Hey Arnold. It was just it was out in the 90s. Just a nice little Christmas story. When it opens, Helga, who always screams at Arnold, "Hey, football head," and is so mean to Arnold, running around just going presents, presents, presents. And then Gerald, Arnold's best friend, basically bought everyone a tie for Christmas, and not everyone wanted a tie, which is weird. But the main event there was at Arnold's house, where he lives with his grandpa and grandma, and then like all the tenants at the apartment, I guess it is. It's just a very, again, diversity for me. A very diverse cast of people. There's an Asian American, there's African American, there's all sorts of people there. But anyway, Arnold's Secret Santa is Mr. Wynn, who is Asian. And what Mr. Wynn really, really wants for Christmas is his daughter to come home. And then they brought up he lost his daughter 20 years prior in the Vietnam War, which again, for a kid's episode to bring up like something like that deep, like it's just amazing. And just like that whole show, like everyone was very well spoken. The language was good. Like Helga was good. Like she was upset, like overly obsessed with Arnold. And she was like going on like what kind of gift she could buy, like a skateboard or a video game. And Gerald was just like, you want to get someone a gift that means something to them, not just something flashy. But the way he talked, it was just like, just the language there. But yeah, the whole episode is focused on Gerald and Arnold trying to find Mr. Wynn's daughter. And then they come up to this office where they can look people up. And he said, the only way I'm going to find the daughter is if you buy all my wife's Christmas presents. And they bought them all, but the one that they could not find was these winter boots, because apparently they were sold out for weeks. They were like running, and like the whole scene, like they're running around like Macy's. It looks like Macy's. It looks like New York. Like they did that, but they're running around looking for these. And it turns out Helga had the Christmas boots. So Helga, actually, instead of being so mean to Arnold, actually leaves the Christmas boots for the guy, and then Mr. Wynn ends up being reunited with his daughter. And just such a nice story. I just felt like Hey Arnold was way before its time. As I said, everyone's well spoken and just the diverse cast. It was just such an amazing episode. I'm glad I picked it for my number 2.
I mean, what's more Christmas spirit than the community coming together to make everyone happy? You know what I mean? Like that is just such a classic Christmas story.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, the one thing I was running around like crazy this morning getting ready for this, but the one thing, me and Don were just in Wildwood, New Jersey at an arcade, and I ended up winning at the arcade a Helga stuffed animal. Just because I love Hey Arnold. I was going to bring it onto the podcast, but of course I forgot to grab it. But yeah, no, it was just such a nice story. And then the fact that like Helga's always the mean one, but she ends up being the nice one at the end, not the Grinch.
All right, cool. So I'm going to go through. I have a bunch of honorable mentions. If you guys have any, feel free to jump in as well. But the first thing I thought of when Matt asked us to do this, there's a Courage the Cowardly Dog episode called The Nutcracker, where they do like an homage to the Tchaikovsky ballet, which is so Christmas season in my brain. But that episode came out in September and was not at all a Christmas episode. It just happened to be a Nutcracker themed episode. So I didn't put that on the list. We did a similar rundown for Halloween, our top 3. And when I first put the list together, I realized I had all the same shows, different episodes, but all the same shows. So I cut Doug, even though I do love Doug's Christmas special.
I love Doug.
The one I had on my list was the one it's Christmas, but it's not a Christmas episode because it's like a courtroom drama. Porkchop gets accused of assaulting a person in town, and Doug has to like go to court and save him. That all happens on Christmas Day. Such a good episode. But again, I talk about Doug a lot on this show because Doug's great.
We do. Yeah, Doug's amazing.
And I also had the Batman the Animated Series Christmas with Joker for almost no other reason except Mark Hamill singing Jingle Bells, Batman Smells, Robin Lays an Egg.
Oh, yes.
Totally worth the price of admission. Absolutely incredible. How about you guys? Do you have any honorable mentions that didn't make your list for any reason?
Yeah, I really like the SpongeBob Christmas special, especially the song Don't Be a Jerk. There's like this humbug virus going around where everyone's like anti-Christmas, and SpongeBob helps bring them back into the Christmas spirit. And the Don't Be a Jerk is on my playlist. It's Don't Be a Jerk, it's Christmas. And
SpongeBob does not get enough credit for its music. It really has.
It really doesn't.
Awesome
excellent music.
Yeah.
Oh, consistently really catchy, will not get out of your head.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was one. And then the Christmas Everyday episode of Fairly Oddparents is, it's a trope of where like you wish it was Christmas every day, and then it gets really, really exhausting, and the whole town is against him. And I really loved Fairly Oddparents. It was, hyper and weird, but not gross. And then I don't know if anyone else was into Yo Gabba Gabba, but as a stoner in college, I really loved it. And their music. So if you don't know Yo Gabba Gabba, it was a preschool show, preschool education show, and created by the Aquabats, which was a band I loved growing up.
Yes, me too.
And their music is incredible, and they get some legit bands on there.
Oh yeah. No.
There's a great song, this is unrelated to the episode. There's a great song by MGMT called Art Is Everywhere that I sang like almost every day. But their Christmas episode has some really great music in it as well.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Dom. Was Mike Park in Yo Gabba Gabba?
He was on Yo Gabba Gabba. I don't know if he was like part of the cast or something, but he was definitely on the show at some point. Yeah. I didn't actually know Yo Gabba Gabba was the Aquabats. I knew they had another Aquabats super show or something, but I knew Yo Gabba Gabba had a lot of like legit punk bands on there, so that doesn't surprise me that it's them.
And like Mark Mothersby of Devo is the artist that like does doodles, and Biz Marquis teaches kids how to beatbox.
Oh, R.I.P. That's a bummer.
Yeah,
that's awesome,
it's really nice to see Biz Marquis again for sure, because he's just just like a big teddy bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that Mike Park was on Geekscape, so that's super cool.
That's really awesome.
Mike Park's a good dude.
We almost had him marry us, but we couldn't get him shipped from California in time.
Yeah. Logistically, it was a lot.
It was a lot.
But it would have been cool.
It would have been really cool. But I just like the story. Like, we almost got married by Mike Park.
I talk to him still from time to time. He's a good dude.
Yeah, same. Yeah, he's awesome. And going back to you, Jenny, about SpongeBob, we just got a SpongeBob inflatable Christmas thing, but unfortunately, we got it at a yard sale for like $2, and now SpongeBob and a present is laying flat on our lawn right now. So I'm actually very, very sad about SpongeBob currently. Unfortunately, SpongeBob's probably not gonna make it through the Christmas. So, but I do love me.
So sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't have too much prepared for honorable mentions, but Don did allude to one of my honorable mentions was the Rugrats Kwanzaa episode. Again, my mantra right now is diversity. And just the fact I have not seen another Kwanzaa episode, holiday special anywhere with cartoons, and Nickelodeon just does such a great job. They introduced this Susie, who is African American, and across the street from the Rugrats. And they have like a nice like family dinner, and this explaining what Kwanzaa is, and just like so nice, because again, these are things you don't see a lot of, and I'm glad that they took the time to educate us on Kwanzaa. But that was my honorable mention for episodes. Most of my favorites are specials. I love the Muppet Family Christmas. I love Emmett Otter. I love this Christmas. That's my tradition every year, to watch all of those. Those would have been at my top had we been doing not been doing episodes, but those are the ones that I love them. It's just like always been a family tradition of mine. I'm a huge, my whole Christmas tree is covered in Muppet stuff. Our wedding was Muppets. I just love everything Muppets.
Have you seen the new one, the Letters to Santa one?
Yeah, I've seen that one.
It's so cute.
It's
I
so
loved
cute.
it.
Yeah, that one was really cute. Yeah, and I just this year they did the Muppets for Halloween. They did the Muppets Haunted Mansion, and it came out just as I was on my way to Disney World to see the Haunted Mansion. So it was actually pretty cool how much of the actual Haunted Mansion was in the Halloween episode. It was great. I just wish there would have been more Muppets when I went to Disney World, but there was not.
Yeah, they get shafted a lot.
Other than 3D Vision and Pizza Rizzo, there was nothing Muppets. No merch, nothing.
No, nothing. I had to buy my own merch after we got back, which I was very sad about.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
I feel like them trying to do The Office kind of like derailed them a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to jump in for Emmett Otter. I do love that movie. In fact, that's one of my Christmas movies, but I really love the River Bottom Nightmare Band more than Emmett Otter.
They're so
I wasn't mad when they won the Battle of the Bands because they should have, because they were the better band. But that is a great movie. All right. So I will jump over here to our number one. And if you listen to Saturday Morning Showdown or know me at all, this should be no surprise to anybody. I went Pete and Pete because I love the adventures of Pete and Pete.
Yeah, I knew you were going to do that.
Yeah. Oh, Christmas Pete. Oh, Christmas Pete. This episode is one of those, let's make every day Christmas. So young Pete, of course, manages to convince the family to leave their Christmas decorations up and make every day Christmas. What he doesn't expect is the garbage man has just a love for destroying Christmas trees. So when they don't bring out the Christmas tree, it starts a feud between him and the garbage man, who tries to bring down the Christmas spirit by not taking their garbage and turning the entire town into a trash heap. Eventually, the town sides with the garbage man and tries to take out Pete, but they bring Christmas spirit and everyone ends up being happy. They never really address the what do you do now that every day is Christmas, because they kind of end it with that. But I love Pete and Pete. It's such a weird, like, Twin Peaksy like kids show. It's super strange. And it was actually on at like the same time as Twin Peaks, which I never really put together in my brain. I am wearing a Hail Santa t-shirt. Thank you very much. You just can't see it. And also my hat's downstairs.
Yeah, I have your hat. I'm sitting on it.
What I love about Pete and Pete, it actually still holds up as we've been rewatching it, but I got nothing on that. Big Pete's monologues throughout Pete and Pete, they give this like grandeur to all of the scenarios that are going on that are like dumb kids things, but they feel so big and grand the way he narrates them and the way they did when you were a kid. And I think that's awesome. And again, I think it holds up because of that. So highly recommend it. This one's not as easy to find. I found it, I think, on YouTube, but like I had to dig deep to find it because Nickelodeon don't really preserve their old stuff. It's really not easy to acquire a lot of their old stuff. So
no,
it is what it is. Find it where you can, but highly recommend Oh Christmas Pete, Oh Christmas Pete.
No, Pete and Pete's amazing. Just want to jump in. If you love the music from Pete and Pete, the band is real. It's actually called Polaris, and they're playing in Philadelphia at Underground Arts in February. I think me, Don, and our friend from another podcast, Matt, by Saved by the Credits, are going to go to that. But it's just, if you love the music, definitely see it live because it's just an amazing show.
We bought that album on vinyl, didn't we?
We did. We have it on vinyl.
I found it recently. I completely forgot we had it.
Yeah.
Jenny, you're
Sorry.
number one. No, it's all
yes. Good. So I am so glad this has not been mentioned. One of my yearly traditions is to force my friends to watch the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's our tradition too.
Us as
Okay.
well. Yeah.
So I do try to lessen the pain a little bit by doing it with the riff tracks track over
Okay.
it.
Oh, that's a good
We're not
idea.
that friendly.
It's a lot more fun that way. But to me, honestly, the introduction of Boba Fett in the animated segment of the Star Wars Holiday Special is iconic, important, a perfect introduction to an amazing character.
Yeah.
And aside from that, like, ugliest animation I've ever seen, poor Harrison Ford. Why? But if you look up just the animated part, you're gonna see that it's just a perfect introduction. It makes him so mysterious, and his voice is just everything is perfect about the introduction of Boba Fett. And most people don't know that this is how Boba Fett was introduced to us. And I definitely highly recommend that. And of course, another fever dream. So I love it.
It's a strange one. We tried to watch it. We put it on every holiday party we have. We've been doing them for like 15 years. We put it on every time. We've made it through it maybe twice in all of the years. It's tough, but you are right. The cartoon section is the most watchable, and it's worth watching. The cartoon section's good. Less so about the cooking segment. I can't remember what the celebrity chef was.
Stir, whisk, 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 stir. So
Super
it's
strange.
Art Carney.
Also, the like 15 minutes of Life Day morning at Chewbacca's house with 3 Wookiees that we don't know speaking in a language that we don't understand without subtitles. That's tough. It's a hard sell to get through.
Yeah, it's definitely hard, especially like half the time when we put this on, like everybody's already had like 3 or 4 beers and is toasted for the night. I mean, that's what's gonna happen tonight. We're putting it on. We're having like one of our first get-togethers since the pandemic, and that's we're gonna try to have that party again. Put it on. We'll see how far we get through, but we usually do not make it through.
I think B. Arthur deserves your respect. You need to make it to her song.
Yes, Yeah, BR for every year. We always like when she comes on, we start screaming.
And poor Diane
Jefferson
Carroll.
Starship too, right?
Yes.
Such a weird thing. And Cirque du Soleil. So weird.
Yes.
So strange.
Yeah.
And the porn with Diane Carroll, that poor woman. She's so talented, and she's singing this awful song. And oh gosh, it's if you can just like pick little isolated moments, and that's the only way to really survive. Otherwise, watch it with riff tracks, and it's very enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll have to do that sometime because I'm all about Mystery Science Theater style. Like, just love that. But we just watch it and just see what happens. Because
that's fair.
All right, so I guess it leads me to my number one, and I've talked about this before. My favorite one is the Garfield Christmas special.
Solid.
I just grew up loving everything Garfield. I didn't have any animals of my own until I got my cat Dynamite, but just watching that made me want animals of my own. And then I always read the Garfield in the newspaper every Sunday as a kid. So I just love Garfield, and it's just such a sweet. First of all, the music on all the Garfield holiday special, it's just amazing. It's so catchy. Like the one song on there just makes you want to get up and square dance. And then like even the one song starts singing about like the anxiety and the insomnia of the holiday, which I definitely relate to. But I don't know if as a child I would relate to that. But no, the music is just so fun. And then it's the typical we're going to grandma's house. And it's just like the whole like relatable, I don't really want to see my relatives, like all that stuff. And then they get there and you meet his mom and his grandmom and John's brother, and they're all like getting ready for dinner and putting up the Christmas tree. Garfield actually runs to the top of the tree and puts the star on. But yeah, like it's just your typical like holiday, but also it's there's some really sweet moments that actually made me cry, like when Garfield's sitting on grandma's lap talking about her husband's no longer with her and it's really hard on the holidays. That made me cry, especially like our grandparents are not with us right now, so the holidays are a really hard time, so that definitely made me cry. And then when Garfield found her husband's love letters and gave it to her as a gift, it's just such a sweet, just again one of those meaning of Christmas, how sweet holiday episodes. It was just so sweet. And I'm a huge, as I said, I've always been a huge Garfield fan, and just the music and everything about it. And the other thing, like I always think about when I see these Garfield episodes, like do you bring your animals to every holiday? I mean, it's funny, but it's just like now thinking about it, it's just like why is he bringing his animals to his mom and his grandma's house? Like, why?
Like you wouldn't if you could.
I mean, yeah. I mean, my I would if I could, because I would love to take my cat Dynamite everywhere I go. But
I'm sure he could avoid a bunch of awkward conversations about why he doesn't have a girlfriend if he brings his animals. Like, it's very clear why he doesn't have a girlfriend, so he can avoid the conversation entirely.
Exactly. Yeah, and I feel for John, but I think he did have a girlfriend in the Thanksgiving episode, but yeah, it's just such a sweet, and I love watching that every year.
The Thanksgiving episode is the one where Grandma rolls up on a motorcycle, right?
Yes, and Grandma, yeah,
Grandma's a badass.
She's a bad, and she was even like dancing and running, like she was like being like all like fun in this one. Yeah, and the other thing, like when John and his brother came, his parents are like, well, you need to go. Like they were like at 1:30 in the morning saying they wanted presents, and they're like, well, you need to go to sleep. Like they were like children, but they're like grown adults. So that was really funny to me too.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that was our top 3, children's, I don't know, Christmas specials. We have a little bit of time left. Is there any other more adult-oriented shows that you may want to speak about in this little window here?
The Sunny in Philly Christmas special.
Solid one.
There is so much to it, and like they have an homage to, the claymation specials. Of course, the claymation specials too.
You have to.
Like,
yeah,
those are amazing. Gosh, what else?
Yeah, I would drop the Community of our Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas episode,
Oh, yes,
which is all
yes.
in claymation the same way. You have to homage those Raskin Bass specials. You have
All the
to.
Community Christmas episodes are really good. I really like the Glee one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Office, I would say Benihana Christmas has not aged well, but like Moroccan Christmas is really fun, classy Christmas. There's a bunch of great Christmas episodes from The Office.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I'm all about the Friends holiday special. I mean, they focus a lot on their Thanksgiving episode, but their holiday episodes, again, they actually have a character who celebrates Hanukkah, so they have the holiday armadillo, that's just
Ted
so
Lasso
funny.
too.
Yes.
It's like on my short list of shows I need to watch.
Yes.
It's like
Yes.
probably
But now,
next.
dude, now is the perfect time. It's the holiday season. You got warm fuzzies. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it for yourself.
Yeah, I gotta do that.
Yeah, I'll bet. I did not see the real Ghostbusters one.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
We should do that.
Yes.
And isn't there like a straight to VHS TMNT Christmas special that has like Christmas carols and stuff? I vaguely remember watching that when I was a kid.
Yeah,
that sounds like the thing that would happen.
Yeah,
I feel like they did like the 12 toppings of pizza instead of
that sounds about right. I have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Christmas ornament on my tree, and they're holding a pizza and there's bells on it. So I feel like they probably did.
I have the same one, and it's from my preschool.
Oh my god,
that's so cool. Nostalgia is the best.
No, it really is. Yeah, and Ninja Turtle. That's how Saturday Morning Showdown. We actually started with Ninja Turtles. So yeah, we just love that show.
If you're doing a show about 80s and 90s cartoons, I feel like you have to start with Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's just such a formative one.
Yeah, any of the like surveys the March Madness and surveys we did, it was always like number 1 on there.
Yeah.
This claymation special with the California Raisins is really fun as well.
Oh my god, yeah, I remember that.
I think that's what my friend from Brazil sent me. He sent me something claymation with the California Raisins. I think that's what he sent me, and we have to watch. So we probably should have him on again because that's amazing.
And just to sing the praises of Riff Track some more, they had a live show where they did a bunch of Christmas shorts that are absolutely wild. So I think you can find that on their website.
Cool. Oh, awesome!
Definitely look for that.
Yeah, definitely.
Also on my adult-oriented list, I wrote down because it's a cartoon, but it's not a kid's cartoon. But the first Futurama Christmas episode with Robot Santa flying around with a machine gun, solid episode.
Yes, I miss Futurama.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
Yeah, a cartoon I wasn't expecting to make me cry on a regular basis, but man, did they? That goddamn dog, every time.
Yeah, Danny DeVito, you get to see him naked. It's awesome.
Yeah. That's
It's
amazing.
not a great selling point, but I've seen that episode. It's pretty incredible.
But I mean, like, there's something about the holiday season where it just brings out the creativity in people, and they're taking like, you take the tropes that we've all seen before, and there's just like a million ways to manipulate them, and it's just so much fun to watch because you just know what to expect, and then to see how people get creative with it is really fun.
Yeah, definitely. The community ones are like that's the selling point of the community ones. They're
Right.
taking those tropes that you know and love, but spinning them on their head and taking them in a different direction. I love it.
And genuinely amazing music as well, because it's Ludwig, who is now, what did he just do? He's a big deal. Didn't he do the last, didn't he do Tenet? Something like that. I don't know. He's very important. Ludwig, who did all the music for Community and produced all of Childish Gambino's albums. He's amazing.
That's awesome.
That is really awesome. Yeah, Chris Valley just came on about the California Raisin. Yes, I love the California. I gotta go back and watch those.
I have a question. Have any of y'all seen anything that came out this year for the holidays, like 8-Bit Christmas? I haven't watched that yet.
No.
That's on my list. What about that show we watched last year with Audrey Plaza? What was that called?
Happiest Season.
Happiest Season.
Oh God.
She was like in it for a second, but
And David from Shit.
She was the ex-girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Happiest Season. Okay. I mean, if you identify or have family that is in any way identifies queer or LGBT, please watch this movie. It's very, very important. Besides the performances of like the main cast, the performances of the family members trying to wrap their heads around this relationship. There was a certain moment that I won't talk about, but there was a moment in there that made me cathartically cry in a way where you're seeing things that I think a lot of people who identify as LGBTQ plus have been waiting to see. Thank you, Facebook user, for helping me out. Yes.
That's awesome.
I love that movie because I do have a lot of family and friends who identify as that, and I definitely did cry. It was just such a sweet story.
Yeah, there was a moment with Victor Garber, who's a gay man himself, plays their father, and there's a moment where he makes a big sacrifice, and it just buckets.
Yeah, my only gripe was it was a very white cast.
Yes,
that was my only gripe with it, but it was great otherwise. I'm just I'm super into the diversity topics right now, and that's what we definitely needed that.
And Mary Holland plays like the silly sister, and she's
so good.
She's so incredibly talented.
Yeah.
Did you watch New Girl? She's in New Girl. New Girl has some really good Christmas episodes.
I never watched New Girl.
New Girl's amazing.
I was anti Zooey Deschanel back in the day, but I got to try. Oh yeah, 4 Christmases is really fun.
I don't think I
saw
that
Vince Vaughn, right?
Yeah, I think Reese Witherspoon. Right?
Yeah.
Holiday.
You like diarrhea?
I did recently watch Snowman's because How Did This Get Made covered it. It was like a Hallmark type movie where a woman every year builds a snowman to be her perfect boyfriend, and he comes to life.
That's truly sad.
And his name is Cole.
Oh.
But yeah, I also watched the new Home Alone movie. And I gotta say, it is what it is. It's updated for 2021, but it's really fun. It has some really great, like genuinely funny moments in it that can get you through the eye-rolling moments.
Okay.
And really decent cast, I gotta say. Like Rob Delaney's in it, and what's her name from Kimmy Schmidt? She's in it. They play in case instead of
Ellie
burglars. Thank you, Ellie Kemper. Instead of burglars, it's a couple that's struggling and they're going to lose their house, so they have to get something that's worth a lot of money. So it's like all one big misunderstanding. So that makes it like safe for everyone. But it has some genuine moments that surprised me, and I was like, in spite of myself, laughing. So.
Is it still Kevin McAllister, or is it a new person now?
No, it's a new family, but Buzz makes an appearance as a cop, and at all the security systems, Kevin McAllister now owns an ADT type company.
That's kind of cool. I like
Right,
that.
that's a cute
I'm fine
little
with that.
detail.
I'm okay with that. Because like
And
when they did three, and I think there was a fourth one too. It was a different kid, but it was still Kevin McAllister.
Yeah. No, this is a completely different family. They're actually a British family, and it makes sense. They have to be on separate planes, so it makes sense how they, forget about their son. And they kind of, what they do is they kind of mix Home Alone with Christmas Vacation.
Okay. I mean, I'm into that. I might try it. I've heard it's bad though.
It's bad, but it had these moments that made it like, okay, I didn't waste my time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it's the holiday season. There's only so much. Oh no. Oh no,
Oh, boy.
what happened? What did the actor do?
I don't know. I'll have to look that one up. I don't know.
What are you doing to us, Fefelios?
Yeah.
It's Christmas. Don't be a jerk. Full circle.
All right.
I guess
think that's our time. We're just waiting for.
Yeah, I guess we want to wrap up and like
pop
shout
up.
out.
Hey.
Don, I gotta say, I appreciate that you picked The Simpsons. I think you picked the wrong Christmas episode, in my humble opinion.
Okay. Which one were you thinking?
Marge Be Not Proud, where Bart steals the video game from the mall.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yes.
In it, it has Don Bracco. It has the golf video game. It's arguably not just the best Christmas episode of The Simpsons, but like top 10 Simpsons episodes. Period.
I'll have to go back and watch it. I am not mad about my pick because having like gone back and rewatched it, I was so surprised to see like so much of the like working class struggles being in there that I thought gave it a lot of heart that I wasn't expecting.
I think that's fair. Okay, valid. Well, Don and I are jumping on because obviously we're now up to $245 of our goal.
Woo!
If you
Yeah.
donate,
Keep it
get in there,
coming.
donate, William.